Hello, welcome to the News Broadcast Daily and following are today's headlines.
Vietnam lost public security cooperation with China. Vietnam Marine Police launches new multi-purpose patrol ship. October's consumer price index sees increase of 0.85% compared with previous month.
Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng received Chinese Minister of Public Security Meng Jianchu in Hanoi on October 24th, the top Chinese police officers in Vietnam for the third anti-crime conference between the two ministries of public security.
Trọng expressed his pleasure at the continued development of the traditional friendship and cooperation between the two parties and states over the past time, despite a number of difficulties. He spoke highly of the outcomes of the third anti-crime conference between the two ministries of public security, suggesting that the ministry not only provide material and technical assistance for each other, but also strengthen cooperation in crime prevention and security protection. On the occasion, Trọng wished the upcoming National Congress of the Communist Party of China a success, opening up a new development chapter for the country. Minister Meng affirmed the Chinese Party and state's consistent policy of attaching importance to developing the traditional friendship and cooperation with Vietnam. Earlier on October 23rd, Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng received the Chinese minister. He praised cooperation between the two ministries of public security over the past time, especially their close coordination in fighting border crimes. Noting the fact that both countries did hold on different perceptions on sea-related issues, Prime Minister Dũng emphasized the need to seek a satisfactory and long-term measures acceptable to both sides. Minister Meng told the host that the Chinese Ministry of Public Security will continue to work closely with the Vietnamese side in effectively implementing their cooperation agreements, helping promote the traditional friendship between the two countries. Regarding the AC issue, Meng shared Dũng viewpoints, expressing his belief that the issue will not affect the Vietnam-China relationship. Also on October 23rd, the top Chinese police officials and his Vietnamese counterpart Trần Đại Quang co-chaired the third anti-crime conference between the two ministries. The two ministries agreed to coordinate in fighting crimes such as terrorism, transnational crime, transport and trade of weapons and explosives, trafficking of drugs and humans, especially women and children, gambling and other economic crimes.
The head of the European Union delegation to Vietnam, Ambassador Frans Jessen, has said the signing of the Vietnam-EU Partnership and Cooperation Agreement in June is a milestone in the two parties' relations.
Jessen made the remark at a conference on the agreement held in Hanoi on October 23rd. The new agreement demonstrates the EU's commitment to forging an upgraded, broader and more mature partnership with Vietnam, a partner willing to take on increasing responsibilities on the world arena and an active and central factor in ASEAN, he added. The official also expressed his hope that the Partnership and Cooperation Agreement will soon be supplemented by the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, the first round of negotiations of which were recently held in Hanoi. Deputy Foreign Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn said that the Partnership and Cooperation Agreement has helped expand fields of cooperation that Vietnam has demand and EU has strength, including development cooperation, economics, trade, education training, science technology, agriculture, healthcare and tourism, as well as in the climate change adaptation and the fight against terrorism. EU is now one of Vietnam's leading trade partners, with an average two-way trade growth of between 15 to 20% per year. The trade jumped from $1.5 billion in 1995 to over $24 billion in 2011. The EU is Vietnam's largest donor, with total ODA committed topping $11 billion in the 1996-2011 period. Meanwhile, Vietnam is one of the EU's top trade investment partners among ASEAN countries. Vietnamese enterprises have started their projects in many EU member states.
Many delegates to an international seminar in Seoul on October 23rd agree that Vietnam has sufficient historical evidence of its sovereignty over Trường Sa and Hoàng Sa archipelagos.
Dr. Isabel from Chosun University said, based on international law, reality and historical evidence, it is Vietnam, not any other country, which has effectively owned Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos. The scholar noted that since the 17th century, Vietnam has exercised its sovereignty over the two archipelagos continuously and peacefully. The country has also ensured its legitimate position and interest to encounter schemes and acts violating its sovereignty over Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa. Professor of Vietnamese Studies Lee Yong Bum, Trung Ương University, highlighted the solutions that Vietnam has been undertaking with the aim to solve the territorial dispute in the East Sea. Professor Yang Kong Hoan from Chosun University noted that it has been proved clearly in terms of history that Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa were effectively governed by Vietnam. In his opinion, the peaceful settlement of the East Sea territorial dispute is very important to maintaining world peace and promoting regional economic development. However, it will be difficult to solve the issue of sovereignty over Trường Sa and Hoàng Sa through Vietnam's efforts, he said, stressing that it requires understanding and sympathy of the international community. Therefore, the professor said the organizations of periodical seminars on the issue to share documents and seek peaceful solutions with the participation of scientists from Vietnam, China, Japan, the Republic of Korea, the Philippines, and Malaysia is of great significance. The international seminar on the sea was jointly held by the Republic of Korea's Chosun University and Vietnam's Hanoi National University.
A multi-purpose patrol ship was launched on October 23rd. The ship will combat crime on the high seas, maintain national security, and double as a search and rescue vessel.
The 2,400-ton ship is 90 meters long and has a 14-meter beam. It is the most modern patrol ship the Vietnam Marine Police have so far launched. It can stay at sea for 40 days and has a top speed of 21 nautical miles per hour. The ship is crewed by more than 70 officers and men and can weather wind speeds of over 118 km per hour. It also has a helicopter landing pad. It is a great honor for me to captain this ship. We will have further training and undergo sea trials to become familiar with the new systems and technologies before we go fully operational. The multi-purpose patrol ship was designed by the Dutch shipyards Group Damen and built by the Z189 Shipbuilding Company, part of the Ministry of National Defense under the Technological Transfer Scheme.
October's consumer price index saw a slight increase of 0.85% compared with the previous month and a year-on-year increase of 7%.
This drove the consumer price index in the past 10 months up to 9.66% in comparison with the same period last year, said the General Statistics Office on October 24th. Out of the 11 baskets of commodities measured, only post and telecommunications services saw a decrease by 0.02%. The remainder enjoyed an increase of 0.17% to 5.94%. The highest price rise was recorded in medicine and healthcare services, in which healthcare services alone saw a rise of 7.78% against the previous month, making up 0.31% of the country's CPI. They were followed by education with a rise of 1.88%, in which education services saw a month-on-month increase of 2.1%, as tuition fees were raised in many cities and provinces nationwide. According to the General Statistics Office, in 1 month, the consumer price index in Hanoi inched up by 0.37% against last month, while the corresponding index in Ho Chi Minh City increased by 0.4%.
An international business convention opened in Ho Chi Minh City on October 23rd to discuss issues relating to the timber and wooden products industry in Vietnam.
During the 3-day event, the participants exchanged their views on the forestry and wood processing sector, Vietnam's import and export mechanisms for wood and wooden products, as well as the demand for timber from the country's furniture manufacturers. Many ways of developing a sustainable timber industry are being discussed at the seminar, where ways of developing the sector in a green and sustainable manner have attracted a lot of attention from businesses. Further discussions will be held on Asia's timber market, including Malaysia, China and India, and the suppliers of sustainable and legal timber from Africa. It will also provide updated information on the requirements demanded by other markets, the EU's timber law and problems when enforcing the law on forests. Later, the participants will visit wood processing businesses in Hải Phòng City and Bình Dương and Đồng Nai provinces.
And that comes to the end of our news today. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.